Hi, Gordon Banks here, Easiest Beginner Piano Method, Book 2. Alright, we were talking about eighth notes. Here's some more eighth notes that you will run across. This is a dotted quarter note and an eighth note. A dotted quarter note is worth 1.5 counts, 1 and 2. And then you have an eighth note, and. Any of the notes, any note that has a dot after it means that the dot is giving it another half of whatever it was worth. So I've got a quarter note is worth 1 and. So a dot is going to give it another half of a count. That's how we get to 1 and 2. If we had a half note gets 2 counts, 1 and 2 and. If it's a dotted half note, it ends up with 3 counts. You've seen dotted half notes. The reason it's got 3 counts is it's worth 2, 1 and 2 and the dot gives it another half of its value. So if something's worth 2 and you add another half of it, you've got the third count. Okay, so anyway, this is very popular in pop music. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's this pattern down here. Left hand, you pull up an Elton John song or something of that song, something of that side, Billy Joel, you'll start to see 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and with your left hand frequently. Now again, keep in mind that if this type of thing with the timing, because they can do the same with the right hand. You might have a song where your right hand is running that type of pattern and your left hand, or your other hand will kick in with a similar pattern using dotted quarter notes and eighths. So it can be challenging as far as counting. And that's another reason for playing stuff on a tabletop or on your legs as just a counting exercise. But you can always back off. Keep that in mind. You can back off. For instance, this measure here, you've got a quarter, you've got 4/8 and a quarter. Meanwhile, your left hand is playing your dotted quarter, your eighth, your dotted quarter and an eighth. So this is together, right, together, together, right, right, left. That's how that pattern's going. So it's rather involved. If you find you're unable to play this pattern because of coordination problems or counting or overwhelming, whatever, you can always back off on this. You have 4 beats in this measure. It says so right here, 4 beats, 4/4. If you have 4 beats, you could play a whole note off of your C chord, play the whole note. Meanwhile, your right hand is still playing what is written. You could play 2 half notes. Meanwhile, your right hand is playing what's written. You could play 4 quarter notes with your left hand. They'd all be C's. C, 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 because of that chord symbol. Meanwhile, your right hand plays the same thing. So if you find that your timing in your left hand area is overwhelming, as long as you have some chord symbols, you'd be able to play a single note bass. Meanwhile, your right hand is doing what the melody says it's supposed to do. You can always keep that in mind when playing your songs. The best way to get good at something is repetition. Some songs will take very little time for you to do. Some songs will be challenging. Again, you're on a fixed hand position, so you don't have to go looking too far for your keys, C, D, E, F, G, on each hand. Counting is very important. There's another section of this book that shows you how to properly use a foot pedal. There is a proper way to use a foot pedal. There's an improper way to use a foot pedal. This shows you what your finger is going to be doing. This shows you what your pedal is going to be doing. And you put the two together, and this gives you the way to work a foot pedal. I go over that quite a bit in both in dialogue and in the example. And then we have some more pedaling exercises and such. There's one other thing about this book that I want to mention. You have The white keys all have the names of the notes that are on the staffs. The black keys have names that refer to the white keys. For instance, here's a C. Well, the black key immediately to the right is called a C sharp. It can also be called a D flat. Flat means you're going to the left. Sharp means you're going to the right. So if I have a G and it says G sharp, well, I go to the right from G. If my song is saying A flat, I go to the left. I go to the black key to the left. And then here's what a natural sign looks like. That means go back to the original white key. Okay, so much for this book. They're available on Amazon. My name is Gordon Banks, Easiest Beginner Piano Method. Thank you.